This is the big conversation on KBC English Service, and every Wednesday morning we put the week's political events in sharp perspective with our regular analyst Ambrose, Weda, advocate of the High Court, published author of several books on the legal profession, mentor, and a canon in the Anglican Church. Now, Weda, moving away from the judge's appointment, let's look at the Nyanza projects. Some raw politics now, and there have been murmurs about the series of projects launched by President Kenyatta in Nyanza during the Madaraka week. First, a columnist in the Sunday Nation quoted a controversial Facebook post from your page, Weda, when you said you would give your daughter a Nigerian name so that she doesn't suffer the discrimination because of her roots. This was in reference to the long-held view that Nyanza has been marginalized because of the political stance of people from the region. Things have clearly changed, Weda. Today, your daughter proudly proclaims her Luo name, right?
I think people love misquoting. My daughter's name, I gave her name 11 years ago, deliberately excluding Luonized names. I said in my post it was heavily Luonized names. And I gave examples like Otieno, Anyango. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Those are heavily, the moment you say I'm Wanjiku, which first of all judge was a Kikuyu first.
Yes.
And you know that if you say you are Wanjiku from Nyeri, the prejudice is very heavy, first of all. Nyeri, Kabete, Kiambu, Asaledi, you ladies know. That is why now most ladies from even Kikula, if they have a child, they always say they are Masais. Do you understand this? So the prejudice against the Luo community started in 1963. And it has been there that if you have the name Otieno, I've carried the name Otieno, and I've known where I have to play second fiddle or third fiddle, not because of anything, but just because that's a Luo. So along the way, you're wise. Most of my children don't carry Luo names. They don't carry heavily Luonized names. Unless now they use my name Otieno. My daughter is called Faith Amaka. And then I have also decided to put more emphasis on the name Weda. So the moment I say Weda, unless you know me, you have to find out. But the moment I say Otieno, you say, ah, wajaluo. Wanapendanga kupinga vitu. Do you understand this? So that is what has been there. It's not just the Luos. I was speaking as a Luo, but the prejudice is against the Luos and mainly against the Kikuyus. You walk to Lowland with your wife, Wanjiku say, I'm a Kikuyu. Atawawa. He will be killed. They will wait for him to make money. Then they kill him. Do you understand these prejudices? You talk about Kikuyu, they say, those are thieves. You talk about the Luos, they say, these are arrogant, rebellious conmen. Do you understand these things? So these are prejudices. Now we are in a world where now is a global village. There are materials people look at in the internet. Those days there were no internet, so you will have to go, and if you say whether you have to look through many files. Today you go quickly. Now you will find that even parents, what do? Their children use the Christian names of the father.
Yes. Not
the traditional name. Like one of my daughters says her name is XY Ambrose. And that's the official names. So by the time there are 3,000 CVs and you just wanted 10 people, you will not say, Ebu hiyo wajaluo toa kwanza. You will just wake up when she is sitting with you on the interview and there are only 3 and she is able to convince you and say, anyway, Jaluo, but now she's good. These prejudices are there, not in the political circles alone. We have grown up believing them.
Well, critics from neighboring Western Kenya and the Rift Valley claim President Uhuru Kenyatta is starving the region of development projects because of its political allegiance. Here's Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok.
It's not going to be about individuals. It is about the issues which the people of Rift Valley and their leaders believe these are issues that government must tackle. When it comes to Aror and Kimore, even those projects were stopped. And Itare, they are still a priority for the people of Nakuru and for the people of Elgeyo Marakwet, which as leaders, we are committed that these projects be seen through.
Do you agree with this criticism, Weda, that development goodies are now being handed over on the basis of political support?
No, there are no goodies. I told you here, there are no goodies. They're just basic things. A port was done, which does not have counterparts in the other countries. So 1 or 2 ships run around, and because you know when you have lived in hunger, when the day you are cooking chapati and rice in your home, it's a celebration.
Yes.
Yes. So what they were celebrating when the railway, the standard gauge railway has reached Nairobi. We thought if it was reaching Kisumu, we would be celebrating. But this other one, the 1 meter gauge railway, they have just put in the cocotos that were hanging and slashed the place. Other than that, I don't know these major projects that the president was launching that should make people attack the Luo nation. I love when now, for me, I love that the president is not hostile to the community. There's a reproachment. That is the fact. It zeroes in on the way you are looked at with favor in other institutions. It's not about projects. If it is projects, I'm sure these people should go to Central Province and see. Then they will riot, because I have seen. So the question is not about the highlights were just made to make it look big. But otherwise, there is just a stadium which was done. The one in Kakamega is much better than the one which was done in Kisumu. That's a fact. I don't know which other. There was some water project we installed during the days of Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi Gingutinga in Yala. That's where now they put in some pumps, and they went and talked about it and started it off for water. Well, I don't tell me which project that we should riot over that the Luos have gotten. Then I will raise my hands. Sijaona mimi.
In a statement, ODM leader Raila Odinga said these projects in Kisumu were set to benefit the whole country and the wider East Africa community. Again, read by Daniel Wahome.
Leaders, when these regions showcase their contribution to the nation, it's against this background that it takes a very dim view of leaders who have attempted to portray Madaraka Day events in Kisumu as some kind of favor to Nyanza and Kisumu.
What do you make of that response by Raila?
I thought the other holiday was in Kisii. There was no big deal about it. It's only that the one in Nyanza, they try to politicize it so that Raila also can show us that, you see, the handshake has brought in a lot of goodies because people are getting disillusioned. But otherwise, these things have been going around. The celebrations have been going around, and we thank God that Madaraka Day came to Kisumu. I still repeat, the projects that are being talked about are not such projects that we should be bashed as a community. The biggest thing should be that Raila has led us back to having a working relationship with the sitting government. Something which people like Weda have been singing about for many years. That's why some of us said, at this rate, that all of us are following Raila. And it is bashing. We form a government with Kibaki, bashing. You are with Moi, bashing. Uhuru comes in, bashing. I said, a good man leaves an inheritance to the children of his children. I will make sure that my own children are not so heavily prejudiced. They are not judged first as Luos. You will judge them when they are on the table sitting with you, but then they will, at that time, their credentials will just baffle you and you say, wow. But otherwise, from far, no, because of that kind of the fight we have had, which is endless, which is directionless, which is, we are always saying, we are fighting for freedom. You say, are you the only ones who are fighting for freedom? Kibaki came in, fought for freedom quickly, he went back. President Uhuru was in Orange movement, Kidogo, who went back. Us, even inside, any minute we say we are leaving. This handshake, don't joke with us. These are the things that we are saying should come to an end. And then we talk about national rebuilding. That includes the Luo nation. These are the people who are complaining. They have MPs in the town. They are sitting in parliament. They are down here. Instead of putting government on check, they are mostly in the toilet. They are mostly doing what? They are doing all sorts of things. They are the ones who should be talking. We have allocated funds for Kemu Arera, or this one, this one, this one. Now they are not allocating funds. Now they are also going back into the forest. Some of them are back at home in funeral saying, oh, we want Uhuru to give us. Where does he give them from? Where does he get it from?
Speaking of development projects, Weda, they depend on financial allocation from the Treasury. And tomorrow, the 10th of June, 2021, Treasury CS Ukuru Yatani will deliver the budget for financial year 2021-2022. Now, this year's budget is expected to shoot up to over 3 trillion shillings, up from the current 2.8 trillion shillings. According to the Central Bank of Kenya, the country's total debt is currently at about 7 trillion shillings. Do you share concerns and anxiety about the financial state of the country, given the levels of borrowing against the revenue generated?
Yes, I think where we are, if we are not borrowing now, what we collect is not enough for debt repayment. Mm-hmm. So we will keep on going, rescheduling. I think with the effect of Corona, I think the economic attack as a result of the pandemic required tightening of the belts. Mm-hmm. Anytime you hear the budget increase, it basically means you are continuing expenditure. Julie, what it means is that you have a budget in your house, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you come here and you are demoted. The motion that comes with your salary allowances, they are reduced. But your budget, when you now go back with your son and house manager, you say now we are increasing the sausage allocation from 300 shillings to 500 shillings. And your son claps. We are increasing the eggs, fried ones and boiled, from 1 tray to 2 trays. That's madness. That's called voodoo economics. So I really don't expect our brother to increase the budget. Mm-hmm. I expect during this period for him to tidy up revenue collection, tidy up issues that will bring in job creation, tidy up certain things as we re-strategize to take off immediately people have received vaccination. But I expect him to allocate enough money to buy vaccines, not to wait for donations.
But the elephant in the room, Weda, is the wastage and the theft. Shouldn't this be the priority for this year's budget amid the tough times?
Julie, budget is different from theft. Mm-hmm. Let's get this. Just take it from your own house budget.
Yes.
You are allocated for sausages, you are allocated for whatever. It is not the budget that enables your house manager to give your sausages to the neighbors of children, the children neighbors. It is your lack of controls. We have said here before that the DPP and the DCI used a wrong system, kamata, harassing people, doing what? They were playing to the gallery. And people have re-strategized. And it changed. Mm-hmm. What needs to be done is what happens in America, what happens in Britain. Theirs is more control. I have said before, we cannot corruptionize everything, including lobbying fees. There is this thing we call corruption, yet for instance, in America we have lobbying, lobbyists, and we call it commission.
Yes.
We must have a law that regulates commissions, allows it and regulates it so that people receive their commission. It is part of what we call corruption. It's basically commission. For instance, I come and say, you would like to talk to Julie. Mm-hmm. What you want to tell Julie, I don't know. But you want me to connect you to her. Say yes. Pay me something. You understand? Yes. Say, if I pay you 10,000, are you sure we can meet? You can leave me at her meeting over a cup of tea. I said, give it to me.
That's lobbying commission.
That's lobbying. Then I come and say, Julie, there's a friend of mine. You have to meet him. You have to. He said, what weather? I said, just meet him. Whatever you discuss, I don't want to know. But you are safe. Where? Java. What time? This day. I said, hey, this is Julie Wanjiku. And blah, blah, blah. And I said, I want my tithe and offering. So we have to take legislative measures, not threats. We have to change the narrative of fighting corruption to dealing with issues that lead to corruption. So otherwise, it is not in the budget. The budget itself, those who steal it, they know.
Here are some views about the expectations and anxieties of Kenyans ahead of budget day.
The upcoming budget, the people responsible should look at the common well-being of the Kenyans, should be very considerate, especially on items that touches the common person, food stuff, fuel, that in the past, the budgets have never really come down to help the common person, and that common person, the person who pays for the continuity of our nation.
I'm Benjamin Gallo. Right now, we are going through tough times due to COVID. The price of things are shoot up. Some of us, we don't have jobs, and so we are struggling to live. The economy is bad.
My name is Marion Gundoti. About the budget, nothing good for a normal mwananchi like me. Every budget day, the budget is going higher, from trillion to another trillion. It's not fair. I think we are suffering as Kenyans.
We used to say in the old days, Weda, that we expected a quote-unquote Mwananchi budget, but indications are that, to use your famous words, which you just used a few seconds ago, we need to tighten our belts even more.
We need to tighten our belts, and we need to be strategic and brilliant. If I was the minister of the president, I expect that the bulk of the budget will be allocated to deal with the question of vaccination, so that nearly all Kenyans are vaccinated in the next 6 months. That's a program which we don't have now. Now we are hoping that the Americans will finish with the need, and then the leftovers will do it. Because we do not relate vaccination to the economy. We don't seem to marry the two. Secondly, what is killing Kenyans is medical bills. Other than medical bills, the healthcare system is weak. So you have weak workers, sick people working. Therefore, you spend more money and you lose a lot of man hours. That needs to be dealt with. Once people are vaccinated and the economy is back to full-time operations, then we move into job creation. How do you move into job creation? We have to revitalize the hotel industry. That means there should be funds that would bring back some of these people. It could be lent to them. It's called stimulus package to deal with the hotel industry, the tourism industry. We continue rebuffing the issues of security. Then the economy starts coming up. We are talking now as economists, not politicking. And then the president also needs to lower the tensions, the temperatures between him and the deputy. Because we are expecting also to receive another bashing from the coming general election. It is going to bash the economy even more. If it does that without us having risen, the damage would be extremely too much.
Let's speak about an issue that you are also very familiar with, whether the sugar sector. Currently, Mumia's sugar company is under the Kenya Commercial Bank receivership. A private investor by the name Narendra Raval Chak, chair of Devki Group of Companies, has withdrawn his interest in taking over the management of the company. So we asked Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala on this controversy when he came to Broadcasting House yesterday, and this was his response.
No leader has brought an investor in Mumia's Sugar Company. The investor has been brought by the bidding that has been done by KCB, and therefore nobody should want to take credit that I brought an investor. Nobody has brought an investor. This investor applied and bidded, and we have 8 investors, farmers of Western region. Let nobody threaten you that he has withdrawn from helping Mumia's Sugar Company. We had 8 investors. If one has withdrawn, then we are remaining with 7 other investors. So there is still hope. We want transparency. We want to know how many people bidded, how much were they offering, and who did the evaluation, and how did they award the tenders. Therefore, as leaders, we demand for information. We must be given information.
Senator Malala says there were various investors to take over Mumia's Sugar. As a former chair of the board of a state sugar miller, what do you make of this never-ending saga on the ailing sugar sector?
I think we are not looking at the problem. The problems I saw are not the way we're dealing with this. First of all, there are several cartels. These cartels are people who deliberately want the death of the local millers so that they import sugar. Imported sugar is cheaper, of lower quality, and you bring in much money, because when it's being brought in, then taxes are waived. Then they make a lot of money. And then once you are also the person who has brought it, you can control the market by controlling the release of the sugar. So there are cartels that want to reduce the number of people that produce sugar. Remember, even if all the mills in this country are functioning, they cannot sustain the market. There will still be, I think now we must be consuming almost 150,000 metric tons of sugar. Yet we produce almost 60,000 metric tons as a country. So there is market, but those cartels. Secondly, there's lack of political goodwill. Politicians come, but they want to play their interests. You see, Malala comes and who has brought the whatever. You go to another place, it is like that. There is no political goodwill. Thirdly, there is no investment. The only time government comes to invest is after there's a problem. Yet there should be investment before. I saw when I was chairman of Sony Sugar, we dealt with the issue of payment to farmers. We were never running late at all throughout my tenure. Immediately I left, it went bonkers. So what about management? Management is also an issue. You bring in political leaders who just want to eat. There's like, where's the meat here? Where's the meat in the sufuria? Don't tell me about payment of farmers. Don't tell me about this. Just tell me where is the meat. So management is also another issue. The board itself and then the management. The workers generally, most of these mills are working very hard. They are very focused. But because of the political influence, you go and take Weda, and Weda is there to make his money. So it's just look and say, where's the money? Where's this? So these problems have to be dealt with. It is not about selling the mills to other people. The people they want to sell to or lease to are actually part of the cartel. And they are tough and big.
Let's speak about your home county, again, Kisumu. The county government offices have been closed following the spike in COVID-19 infections in the county. The administration has also suspended the provision of non-essential services until further notice. Attendance in places of worship has also been suspended. Here is Dr. Gregory Ganda from Kisumu explaining what has caused the current wave.
Is caused mainly by the so-called Delta variant. We changed that name from Indian variant last week to Delta variant, so we're now calling it the Delta variant. So Delta variant is most likely causing this wave that we're seeing here. And it's not only in Kisumu. This is being seen in Migori, very high cases in Migori. As at the other day, I was talking to Siaya, they're also seeing a number of cases, and their inpatients are actually almost 7 times. They used to have 2 patients, 3 patients in the ward, now they're having 14. So the wave is all over this lake region.
What's happening in Kisumu, Weda? Are we seeing the consequences of the Madaraka Day?
Oh yes, oh yes. You know him as a leader and whatever. And you know when Baba is leading something, there's no problem. If President Uhuru had been brought by other people, like Weda, and Baba was out of it, they would say, whoa, it's killing us with corona. But now that Baba was in the forefront, they disobeyed all the protocols, all the warnings. There's my younger brother, a young lawyer called Joshua Nyamori. He has been singing on top of his voice everywhere, Facebook, stop it. And the very people are telling him, you never like Baba. You never like anything good coming to the way they used to tell me when I was telling them, come back to Uhuru. Kuja karibu na president. They say, oh, hiyo ni tumbo yako tu. You just want food when you tell them, but I'm a very good lawyer. First and foremost, I would eat even without being with the president. I'm just telling you wisdom. Now, it is those activities that there's people who came from India. You know the biggest population of Indians are in Kisumu.
Yes.
Because we are very hospitable. They went there, and then now we started spreading them. And now when the president came, it was free for all. So, even not only in Kisumu, even before, even in Nairobi, even in Mombasa, it has always been after rallies. Even in India, Narendra Modi was doing election, going around until they started dying like flies. But we have spoken blessings over the Luo nation, and we say Jehovah will protect them. The very few people will pass on. The rest will live and pass this, and with us, God protect them. It was not by their own design. It is by the poor choices of their leaders.
But do you think the mitigation strategies announced yesterday by Health Director General Dr. Ambrose likely to bear fruit after some time, though?
There is no jurisdiction. That should have been coming right from State House. Wangena Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta saying now, today, we direct. But I think out of embarrassment, fear of embarrassment, because people said it, that they say, just go and say. Otherwise, the president should have directed movement into and out of Nyanza province, Kisumu town, and all that are restricted like this, and then it will come back. A few people lose their lives very sadly, but it will work. So I, the president, please come in quickly after the what happened in Kisumu. It was good you came, and it was good the crowds came, and the Honorable Raila started it at Kondele Bridge where he met people and was shouting and baba baba baba, and then we said this one is corona now. The way it happened in India is the way it will happen here. Now it has come, but we are not losing hope. We are very resilient generation. Let the president and the COVID secretariat issue firm instructions, followed up with the relevant directives that the president usually does,
Finally.
including curfew.